Sox open up the Grapefruit League against them. We'll get to the Orioles in a few moments, but let's begin with the Red Sox starting rotation because that's what this preseason is all about. Alex Cora shedding a little light on where things stand. No big surprises today.
No, not really. He basically came out and announced that Giolito, Bayo, and Pivetta will be in this rotation. He looked at Cutter Crawford as a starter, and he's got a leg up on the other three that are battling for one spot. Winkowski, Houck, Whitlock. Now, all three have some things to work on here, so that'll be determined in the next 5 weeks.
Whitlock, one of those guys, right? And a fully healthy offseason is the big news for Whitlock. He came in camp looking great. He's got an opportunity. He says he likes being a Swiss Army knife, but he's got the stuff to be a starter if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, he does. He's got to be healthy, right? And the healthy offseason hopefully will help. Because the good news is that when we've seen him right, we've seen him dominate big league hitters. We can get into the question whether it's a starter, whether it's a reliever. For me, the biggest thing for him, he's got to get his changeup back. It was his best pitch the first 2 years in the big leagues, and last year it really got hit hard. So he's got some things to work on here as well. Hopefully a healthy Garrett Whitlock make a run for that rotation.
Last year, the Baltimore Orioles had a 100-win season for the first time since 1980, and they have added a bona fide ace. Corbin Burnes, former Cy Young Award winner, will lead the Orioles in 2024, and he will start today. We'll see Burnes against Whitlock as we continue with coverage of Red Sox spring training baseball. First pitch from Sarasota next. We are back in Sarasota, Florida. The Grapefruit League opener. You had a little tune-up yesterday against Northeastern. That was an exhibition game, the college game at JetBlue Park. This is the beginning of the almost real thing. As we begin the Grapefruit League schedule, it'll be the Red Sox fielding this lineup to start. Ceddanne Rafaela in center field. Wilyer Abreu in right. Bobby Dahlbeck at first base. Pablo Reyes, the shortstop. Tyler Heineman behind the plate. Rami Gonzalez is the second baseman. Jamie Westbrook at third. Mark Contreras, three-run homer yesterday in left. Nathan Hickey is the designated hitter. And Corbin Burnes, the former Cy Young Award winner, on the mound for the Orioles today. The big addition, the bona fide ace that this team has lacked. They add him, and now they're pretty excited in Baltimore.
Let's take a look at the Orioles defense in the infield. At third base, you can have Ramon Arias. Jorge Mateo will be at shortstop. The young phenom Jackson Holliday will be at second base. Ryan O'Hearn at first. In the outfield, left to right, you got Austin Hayes in left. Cedric Mullins will be in center. Ryan McKenna, he will be in right field. And doing the catching is the great Adley Rushman.
Take a look at the umpires for the game today. It'll be Ben May, Chad Fairchild, Chris Siegel, and Junior Valente rounding out the crew as we get ready to get started, and we are underway in Sarasota. The Grapefruit League season is here as Ceddanne Rafaela steps in to face Corbin Burnes, and Burnes gets strike one right out of the gate. Orioles fans coming to life. They are feeling pretty good this spring after their first 100-win season since 1980. What they say on the elevator, fans were saying, listen, we paid our dues to have this moment. Let us enjoy it.
Yeah, and they will enjoy it with this guy on the mound. A lot of Red Sox fans maybe not aware of Corbin Burnes because he's been a lot of time in Milwaukee. Quite frankly, he's just a monster. You know, this is a guy the last 4 years, won the Cy Young in 2021. The last 4 years just posts. Goes out there, gives you 190, 200 innings, 2.84 ERA over those 4 years. One of the best arms in the game.
4 straight seasons he has finished in the top 8 voting in the Cy Young Award in the National League. First batter of the season for Burnes of the preseason, as it is Ceddanne Rafaela battling here. Fouls it back, and it'll be a full count.
A big camp here for Rafaela as well. Really, when you look at the positional battles, really comes down to kind of the backup at the catcher spot and center field. They really want to take a long look at Ceddanne Rafaela. They know what he can do defensively. Trying to clean up some things at the plate.
And he gets the called strike. Strike 3, the call on Rafaela. So Burnes setting the tone early in his first preseason start for the Red Sox.
Yeah, you know, even Rafaela, though, what they're looking for is just at-bats, right? They're looking at swing decisions. You know, not expanding. The chase rate is really high. They'd like to see him a little bit more control the zone.
Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. SAP brought to you by Toyota Certified Used Vehicles. He was the opening day starter each of the last 2 seasons for Milwaukee. was the 6th lowest ERA in the National League last year among qualified starters. And here facing Wheeler Abreu. And it is 1-1 to Abreu, who there's been a lot of talk about at spring training. For all the different outfielders, all the different jigsaw puzzle, if you will, Lou, trying to put that outfield together. You've heard Cora time and time again talk about Abreu as his right fielder.
Yeah, he's going to be out there. You know, they love the arm. And, you know, with banning of the shift, that right field arm comes back into play. There's more ground balls. There's more base hits getting through the right field. So if you got a guy out there, and Verdugo did a nice job with it last year, maybe limit those first to third opportunities, and Abreu's got the arm to handle it.
Here's the 1-2 pitch from Burns as Abreu fouls it off.
You know, Burns, every single year, you don't barrel this guy up. You know, you look at he's got everything, right? He comes at you with a big cutter at 94, 95, curveball, changeup, slider. And when you look at him, look at the history of it, guys they basically hit a .196 on every single pitch. Like career, like batting average against is like 200. This doesn't give up many hits, doesn't hit many barrels.
The 1-2 fouled off. Abreu staying alive. You know, he's got a 12-6 curveball, but there's a lot of talk in the Baltimore camp about him adding a new curveball, a little harder breaking pitch that might hit on the back foot of the left-handed batter and has a little more bite to it. Yeah. When you got a guy that good who's still in the laboratory trying to make himself better, that's a good sign for the Orioles.
Not a good sign for opposing hitters. I think he's got enough stuff to figure it out. You just don't give me a new pitch that I can't hit. But this is the whole part about Abreu, right? This is why he kind of looks the part. You know, you talk about Tristan Casas and chase rate, controlling the zone, drawing the walks. This guy's in that same category. He's got a lot of pop as well. I really love his approach. It's quiet at the plate. He sees strikes, gets deep in the counts.
It's .316 batting average as he takes the called strike three. Back-to-back strikeouts for Corbin Burns.
Good location. Maybe a little backdoor cutter there that kind of froze him a little bit. In the same area to finish off Rafaela as well. See a little backdoor cutter. See the ball away. And the last 10 feet or so, that cutter action kind of catches the corner.
Saying, finish that thought, Abreu's .316 batting average after his debut in August was 7th best of qualified rookies in the American League. Quietly put together one of the best rookie seasons of baseball.
It really was impressive, even though it was a short stint. You know, what you saw, you felt like was real, right? Because it wasn't just free swinging, controlled the zone, a lot of hard contact.
Here's Bobby Dahlbeck as he takes the called strike. 1-1 the count to Dahlbeck. What a season he had for the Woo Sox last year. 33 home runs and .938 OPS, was the team MVP. Just could not crack the Red Sox lineup. Big swing and a miss here. It's 1-2.
Well, really, you think about Justin Turner was kind of that guy, right? Third base, right-handed bat, first base, obviously a lot of DH. He was kind of stuck behind him. He was healthy all year long. Came up at the end of the year, but this year's got an opportunity to kind of fill that role.
Yeah, Alex Cora made it clear there is an opportunity for Bobby Dahlbeck, who gets the first hit of the game. Base hit for Dahlbeck on a 2-strike pitch from Corbin Burns, and with 2 outs, the Red Sox have a man aboard.
Burns tried to triple up on that breaking ball. Bobby does a nice job staying through it. Kind of took a couple here for strikes early on, but you see it got too much of the plate. Rushman wants this off the plate. Just a little mistake hitting there from Bobby.
It's a good sign, though, for Bobby Dahlbeck, right? So much of it is the bat to ball. We know he's got the power. Can he cut down the strikeouts and get more hits like that?
It's all about contact. You know, the hard hit rate is up there. Just that there's not enough contact. You know, last year when he came up, even a brief span, 53 plate appearances, struck out 28 times. 53% K rate. You know, in his career, it's even in AAA, it was 36. You got to cut that number down, make some more contact.
Pablo Reyes up now, 2 down and a man on first. Head of the count, 2-0 now. It's Corbin Burns struck out Rafaela and Abreu to start the inning. A 2-out base hit for Bobby Dahlbeck. Burns acquired at the beginning of this month. It was February 1st, and what a jolt to the rest of the American League East just before camp began. Gets the strike call there. Because it's not just that you're adding a bona fide ace, which is what they were lacking really last year, but it's the message, right? The Orioles haven't made a move like that in a long time. They've built it up from the ground floor, and now they're adding that finishing piece.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. You know, you got the sale of the team. Obviously, the Angelos. Nice little profit, 1.25 billion.
It worked out okay.
Yeah, it's David Rubenstein, who runs that Carlisle group. And the scary thought is this organization now starting to spend money.
The sale still has to be approved by Major League Baseball, but they expect that to be the case. And that might be worse news for the American League East than the Corbin Burnes deal, because that could be a long-term influx of cash to this roster.
Burnes deal kind of let everybody know that we were about to spend money now, because we're going to extend him, right? We're going to trade for him last year of his deal. We're probably going to extend him.
Reyes, ground ball, third base side. Arias is there. And Burnes works around the base hit for Dahlbeck. Midway through the first, we're scoreless here in Sarasota.
At the Toyota Washington's birthday sales event, you can bank on cash-saving deals on a huge selection and bank on superior quality from the longest-lasting brand. You could get 4.99% financing for 60 months on select all-wheel drive Highlanders, which could save you up to $2,300. But hurry, it ends March 4th, and you can bank on that too. See your New England Toyota dealer, your all-wheel drive headquarters. Toyota, let's go places.
Back here in Sarasota, no score as we head to the bottom of the first at Ed Smith Stadium. Take a look at the Orioles lineup. Cedric Mullins is the center fielder. Adley Rutschman behind the plate. Anthony Santander, the designated hitter. Ryan O'Hearn at first. Austin Hayes in left. Ramon Arias at third base. Top prospect in the game, Jackson Holliday at second base. Jorge Mateo is the shortstop, and Ryan McKenna is the right fielder. First pitch swinging for Mullins back to the right field side. One pitch, one out as Abreu gets underneath it to make the catch. Take a look at the Red Sox starting pitcher with one out now. Brought to you by BuyAToyota.com. It is Garrett Whitlock, bulked up in the offseason, as we talked about. His fourth year now with the Red Sox since being picked up in the Rule 5 draft from the Yankees organization. 22 appearances, 10 of them were starts last year. One of several Red Sox pitchers in the mix for a rotational position in the coming season.
Yeah, it's a big year for him. You know, last year he missed 69 games on the IL. 3 different stints. Had a 6-game bereavement list this break as well. His brother passing. It's a tough year for him getting healthy, but you mentioned a bulk up Garrett Whitlock, kind of competing for this starting job, that 5th spot. If not, you got a quality arm out in that bullpen.
Adley Rutschman now at the plate with one down. Whitlock, you think about that 2021 season with the Red Sox when he burst on the scene, was the team Fireman of the Year, according to the BBWAA, unsung hero as well. 1.96 ERA out of the bullpen for the Red Sox. But the thought of him being a starting pitcher was tantalizing, has been to this organization all along. Drive to center field here, going back is Rafaela. He will leap up, and it is gone. Home run for Adley Rutschman. And the Orioles strike first here in Sarasota.
Well, Whitlock fell behind 3-0. Get that 3-1 pitch in there. And, you know, you're early on in camp here. You're kind of focusing on just throwing strikes. So just really attacks him 3-1. Gets that ball up a little bit. Rutschman handles it. It looked like Rafaela, the timing was off a little bit, right? First game going back against that wall. We've seen him make that play before, especially in the minor leagues. And almost like that wall got a little crept up on him. Maybe mistimed that one a little bit.
Saw the reaction. He was upset. Thought he could get it. And so a one-out home run for Rutschman. A 1-0 lead for the Orioles. Anthony Santander.
Yeah, you watch Rafaela here going back. He's got a beat on it. Now you want to start your jump right here. And almost as he's starting his jump, he's too close to the wall and actually jumps into the wall, which kind of prevents him from making that catch.
And handles the line drive from Santander easily, and there are 2 down here in the first. Now, Rafael is a guy we're going to talk a lot about, because whether he can force his way into the conversation about the starting lineup is going to dictate how this roster looks.
It sure does.
Ryan O'Hearn, first baseman now with 2 down. Run on the board of the solo home run for Rutschman.
And you think about with Rafaela, there's a lot of guys out there. You got Abreu out in right field. You got a Tyler O'Neill. Remember, Rob Refschneider's still here. Yoshida can play a little left. Duran in center. If Rafael is on, that's a crowded outfield. Of course, you never know in spring training. There could be injuries. There could be trades as well. I think they want to see him offensively. They know what he can do defensively.
O'Hearn fouls it back. Big crowd here in Sarasota for the first Grapefruit League game of the season. Red Sox open up their Grapefruit League play at Jet Blue Park tomorrow against the Minnesota Twins. We'll be with you at 1 o'clock for that one. We will get a look at Lucas Giolito against Bailey Ober. Giolito, the biggest offseason pitching acquisition for the Red Sox.
And you're going to see these guys for a couple innings. Before this game, talking about Whitlock, said he won't go more than 3, he'll probably go 2. Let's see how it goes. Obviously, first pitch to Mullins, get an out. I think maybe he can get 3, but these guys are advanced. Gone are the days of throwing 1 inning here in your first outing. They're going to go 2, maybe even 3 right out of the gate.
O'Hearn fouls it back. 2-2 the count to O'Hearn.
I mentioned Whitlock earlier about that changeup, getting that separation, getting in that low 80s. It crept up to 86, 87 early on in the year. You want to get good separation from your fastball and get that movement back.
O'Hearn stays alive.
It was such a dominating pitch for him. Remember when he first came up, the first couple of years, guys hit 185 off it. The next year, 113. Last year, they hit 312 off of his changeup. Some discussions, maybe he was tipping, but the location and movement wasn't the same.
Good at bat here for O'Hearn. Forcing Whitlock to work. Grapefruit League baseball coming your way. Time now for the weather forecast presented by Window World, the official replacement windows of the Boston Red Sox. I hate to rub it in, but it's 71 degrees. Just a gorgeous day here in Florida. Nice little drive. Up 75 today.
It's the best day since I've been down here, like right out of the gate.
Yeah,
been like 40, 48,
cool.
49 in the mornings, 50. Felt like I woke up right away. It was already in the 60s.
It's like in the 20s back home, by the way.
And I do feel bad. I do.
You feel bad, and yet part of the experience of coming to spring training every year is knowing your friends are miserable. And it really does. You don't get the complete experience if you can't rub it into people's faces back home.
Although there's no snow, and usually it's like clockwork. Every time I come to Florida, we usually get a bunch of snow. And then that's when everybody starts hating you.
Yeah. Got a new pitcher for the Orioles, Mike Baumann on the mound, so it was 1 and done. And a good inning for Corbin Burns. Worked around a single, got a couple of strikeouts, and here Baumann will get Tyler Heineman to fly out to left field to begin the inning.
I mean, Baumann rather was really good for the Orioles last year. 10-1 coming out of that bullpen, 3.76 ERA in 60 games. Big part of it. Got a fastball, big one, 96. Got a curveball, slider, changeup as well. That curveball's a big strikeout pitch for him.
Romy Gonzalez, the second baseman, in there now, and the Red Sox taking a chance on Gonzalez, who became available when he was put on waivers by the White Sox. They had to move somebody to make room for relief pitcher John Brebbia when they signed him.
Yeah, he's kind of an interesting guy. He's been hurt the last couple of years. Was the starting second baseman last year breaking camp with the White Sox, but really injuries the last two seasons really cut his playing time, trying to find it again here.
You know what Alex Cora likes most about him?
Because he went to the U, University of Miami.
So he's got a soft spot for you Miami infielders, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sure does. But this kid's got some big pop, best power in Chicago White Sox system. Last full season back in 21, had a really good year.
Swing and a miss. So Baumann with 2 quick outs here in the second inning.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for him right there. The swing and miss last couple of years. 36.4 K rate. Talk about Dahlbuck in that same area. You eliminate the swing and miss, let the power play within a game. It's going to be a big key for him, but he's versatile. He can play everywhere.
2 down for Jamie Westbrook, the third baseman today. Big swing and a miss there. Westbrook, 5'7", 195 pounds. 5th round pick of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Was picked up as a minor league free agent by the Red Sox. 7 seasons in the Arizona system, was a top 30 prospect for a few years, but released during the COVID year, then kind of had to go through the Indie League wilderness to try to work his way back. Finally landing with the Yankees in their AAA team last year, hit .294 with an .897 OPS. Sends this one opposite field, right field side. McKenna getting under it, and it's a quick inning for Baumann. Red Sox go down 1-2-3, and we head to the bottom of the second with the Orioles leading 1-0.
Discover.
Back here in Sarasota, where the Baltimore Orioles are coming off a 101-win season, and you take a look at the progression, really back to 2020, right? 19, they were still sort of bottoming out, if you will. But you said it before, the scariest news for the rest of baseball might be that that number could jump up significantly.
You see what that number is right now, 89. It's up to...
First pitch swinging, it's Austin Hayes, ground ball, and Pablo Reyes will handle it easily. 1 pitch, 1 down for the second straight inning.
But the little bump this year is Corbin Burns bringing him on, and 111. I mean, the CBT tax is 237. This team could add $100 million worth of talent and still be way under the luxury tax threshold. You know, you could trade away the best farm system of pieces of it, bring in a high-end talent, and now pay them. That's the scariest thing, not just for Red Sox fans, for all of baseball, what this organization can become if you start seeing a payroll up in that area.
You take a guy like Corbin Burns, 29 years old, entering his free agent season, right? He'll be a free agent after this season. What if the Orioles locked him up? Now you're talking about a guy at the top of the rotation to build around.
Well, I don't think it was a coincidence that right after they announced the selling of the team, they traded for Burns, because you're not going to trade for Burns in the final year of his deal for a rental. It's just not what the Orioles would do. But now, yeah, I'll trade him because he's not going to be just a rental. We're going to continue to work on an extension. We're going to pay top dollar because he is who he is. You bring in an ace. You bring in another bat, high-end bat. It's pretty scary.
Ramon Urias.
Of course, you got the farm system too, still rated #1.
Still the number one by almost any metric. Anybody who ranks these things has the Orioles at the top of the list.
So you can go after any high-priced guy on a team looking to unload them, give them some prospects in return.
Whitlock missing outside. It'll be 3-2 to Urias. Urias has powers to all field. All fields, he can drive it the other way. Gold Glove winning third baseman. Pops this one up on the third base side. Westbrook calling for it. And he can't make the play. That'll fall in off the glove, and Urias will be aboard.
Yeah, I always felt like early on in spring training, now they work on this all the time, right? Obviously fly balls everywhere, but early on in camp, take so many ground balls. You get that first one in a game, the high sky, the sun is out there, and sometimes I don't know how he feels out there, Westbrook, on pop flies in general, but sometimes those first few can be a challenge. You just try to glove it and move on to the next one.
Nice ovation here for Jackson Holliday as he gets introduced. Top prospect in the game, drafted first overall in 2022. He'd take strike one. Holliday, son of former major leaguer Matt Holliday.
Yeah, this kid's a monster. You know, Adley Rutschman a couple years ago. Then it was Gunnar Henderson, and they got another one here in Jackson Holliday. I mean, this kid's pretty special. Last year went through 4 different levels. A-ball, high A, double A, and finished up in triple A. And competing for that second base job, he and Gunnar Henderson up the middle for years to come could be a serious issue as well.
Combining all 4 of those teams he played for in the minors last year, he posted an OPS of 941.
Yeah.
He has yet to have the dip that inevitably comes with promotion. And that next promotion will end up here. Every chance to win a major league job, manager Brandon Hyde said about Holliday. Big swing and a miss there. And he will strike out for the second out of the inning.
It's a good fastball from Whitlock. Kind of run it up in that area, elevate a little bit. That's where you see a lot of the fastball swing and miss with good movement as well. Holliday can't catch up.
That'll bring up the shortstop, Jorge Mateo. 2 down, man aboard on the error here in the second inning. Red Sox trailing 1-0. The solo homer from Adley Rutschman in the first. is the difference here.
Yeah, there's that changeup, kind of diving down and in. Really, that breaking ball is something he's been working on. You know, before, earlier, a couple days ago, asking about the breaking ball, the sweeper. Because you got to ask these guys, do you throw a sweeper? Right? Seems like the cool thing to do now in baseball. He said he does not throw a sweeper. He throws a slider. And then he joked that sometimes it's so inconsistent, you're better off just calling it a breaking ball. So, fastball, breaking ball, changeup from Whitlock.
The 1-2, swing and a miss, and he'll get Mateo back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning for Whitlock. We head to the third. Orioles leading 1-0. Tom Karen here for Window World. For more than 25 years, Window World has been offering its customers high-quality installed products at everyday low, affordable prices. No sales gimmicks. At Window World, you get...
Minnesota Red Sox trail the Orioles 1-0 here in the third inning. And as you talked about at the top of the telecast, TC, this is the official start of Grapefruit League play for the Red Sox. And earlier this afternoon, I asked Red Sox manager Alex Cora at what point does he begin his evaluation for trying to field that 26-man roster that the Red Sox will start the regular season with. And he said that started a few weeks ago. A lot of big decisions to come about. He also says you got to be a little bit careful with how you manage spring training and putting so much emphasis on it. When it comes offensively, he said he wants to see quality at bats, how you make contact, also factors in who you're facing. He said a hot spring won't necessarily translate to you making the roster. He says a lot of thought will go into these decisions.
All right, Jemai, that's going to be the big story of camp. It was the big story 11 days ago when camp began. It remains the big story today. Their bullpen has been a strength. It was good last year by and large. I think everybody agrees the lineup is going to score runs. Who's going to be the starting rotation? That's the question. Third pitcher of the day on the mound for the Orioles, Jonathan Heasley.
Yeah, in core before the game, basically saying that Pivetta, Giolito, and Bayo are in this rotation. Got a Crawford, I think, is separating himself from the others. They view him as a starter. So that third spot, you're talking about Winkowski, Crawford, Whitlock, rather, and Houck. And a lot's going to depend on how those guys throw. They all have different things they want to see from each of them. And then you kind of look at the bullpen and say, okay, maybe which one helps in the rotation if we go here? Does this guy help more in the bullpen? So you have a lot of decisions to make.
Mark Contreras at the plate to lead off the third. The offensive hero yesterday against Northeastern. The 3-run home run broke that game open as he fouls this off.
Well,
you can hear sighs of relief coming down from New England.
Well, you're trailing Northeastern 1-0 in the first. Kind of start sweating. It's a good ball club, but you can't lose that game.
You're not just trailing Northeastern 1-0. You're trailing them about an hour before the afternoon radio shows come on the air. Okay, so I mean, he hit the home run just before those shows began.
You know they were rooting for Northeastern too, boy. They
would have given him 4 solid hours.
The segment dialed up.
He'll foul this one back.
But every year, we look at spring training numbers. And everybody starts forming opinions. Look at this guy did in camp. Call him up. He should make the team. And you have to really look at who they're doing it against. When you come on the road, you're facing Corbin Burns, or you're facing their A lineup. At home, a lot of times, you don't usually get that. Teams travel on the road. They don't bring their A lineup, as you see here with the Red Sox. No Devers and Yoshida and Casas and those sort of guys. But so if you're hitting well, but you're coming in late and you're facing guys in AA, AAA against your own level, well, yeah, you should hit those guys. So they factor all these things in. They don't just look at the end numbers.
The 2-2 from Heasley down in the dirt. Count is full. Heasley, the big righty, 6'3", 225 out of Plano, Texas. Originally drafted by Kansas City out of Oklahoma State in 2018. Orioles acquired him back in December in a trade. 7.20 ERA in 12 appearances for Kansas City last year. This one driven to right field. High and deep and gone. Mark Contreras once again showing the power, and he ties this game at 1 with his first official Grapefruit League homer of the year.
Yeah, that is good. As you mentioned, that Northeastern one doesn't count on the spring training stats. He got robbed of a 3-run bomb. Here, though, he comes right back at the solo shot. He's got some pop. We talked about it the other day, and he can play some defense now. He's got a solid arm, can play all 3. He's a pretty good player. There's some swing and miss there, and you can kind of control the zone a little bit more. He's an interesting guy.
New game here, 1-1 the score in the top of the third after the solo homer from Contreras. That'll bring up Nathan Hickey, the designated hitter today. Caught yesterday's game against Northeastern. Fouls this one off. 80 games with the Portland Sea Dogs last year, was a postseason all-star, but the accolades he's gotten by and large have been about his bat. Continues to be a work in progress behind the plate. Today's the DH. Hickey drives this one opposite field, and that'll be a base hit. So Red Sox come out swinging here in the third. The homer from Contreras and a single for Hickey will bring us back to the top of the order with Rafael coming up.
Hickey can hit. He was hitting so well in high A. After about 18 games or so, they brought him up, challenged him up in Double A, and swung the bat real well. You mentioned it defensively, calling the game, framework. Those things are a work in progress, but there's no question about the bat.
Ceddanne Rafaela, just 22 years old in his second major league camp now. Last year made his major league debut, 28 games with the Red Sox after hitting .294 with the Sea Dogs and then .312 with the Woo Sox. Kind of sped up the calendar a little bit. I think a lot of people thought you'd see him in 2024 at some point, but he just continued to hit everywhere he was, and the defense has always been elite.
You talk to some of the managers he's had coming through the system in the minor leagues. They absolutely rave about him. They say he'll figure it out offensively. Defensively, he's just a highlight reel. You know, we haven't really seen it at the big league level. I think when he first came up last year in center, there were some games where people, you know, I thought this guy was Gold Glove out of the gate. You know, there's still some nerves playing with that freedom. Is hard to do when you first come up, but I don't think many people around the game question his defensive, what he can do.
Fouled back. You know, I think a year ago we were talking about Rafaela eventually becoming the everyday center fielder of the Red Sox.
Yeah.
That hasn't changed. What changed is Jarren Duran's 2023 has now created a more dynamic competition at the position.
Yeah, I would agree with you, and I think really Duran can move to left, so you're still waiting to see what you can get with this kid. It's hard, man. When you're a free swinger, you know, you look at a guy like Devers. It's hard to now get in that kid's head and say, okay, don't swing as much. Like, that's a hard thing to do. You sort of lose who he is. So I think really it's just about repetition and experience, kind of learning the zone. It takes time.
Takes one upstairs. Think about Rafael Devers, right? How many times early on he's going to have to be more disciplined at the plate?
Yeah.
Yes. But if you take away his aggressiveness, he's no longer Rafael Devers.
Yeah, then he takes a neck ball and he hits it 500 feet or something off his shoelaces.
Runner goes. Rafaela gets out of the way, and throw goes out into center field. That's stolen base for Nathan Hickey. And a full count now for Rafaela.
A little ambush from Hickey, huh? The catcher? DH catcher? Don't sleep on me. I can get a jump. A little throw off the center field kind of helped a little bit, but I think he might have got it anyway.
Fouls it back. I think catchers always take that extra pride. You know, Veritek was always good for a couple stolen bases a year, and then you'd hear about him for a week or two.
Yeah, sneaky, wasn't he? Used to love to see Tech going, too. Get those legs moving. You know, they don't pay any attention to you. You sort of sit there like you're doing nothing, and next thing you know, you're gone.
Gets himself in scoring position for Rafaela. Drives this one. Nicely played by Arias. And across, you see the Gold Glove third baseman flashing the leather here in the third.
Nice play by Arias. You know, this is going to go down as a positive at bat. This is the way they look at spring training for Rafaela. Really good swing decisions. Hits this hanger really, really hard, but you mentioned you got Gold down there at third. Arias really smooth with his backhand. Gets back on that back leg, comes up, takes his time. Just good tempo, internal clock from Arias at third.
So one down now, man, on second for Wheeler Abreu. Abreu striking out in the first inning when he faced Corbin Burns. Jonathan Heasley, the third pitcher of the day for the Orioles. Abreu acquired in the Christian Vazquez deal back at the trade deadline in 2022, and then made his major league debut against the Astros in Houston, his former team. Remember that game? He entered in the 4th inning after Alex Verdugo was ejected from the game. Not how you anticipate making your major league debut. Kind of sitting there soaking it all in. I was like, hey, kid, get in there.
It's good to get ambushed, though, sometimes. You know, you don't get in your head. You don't get those feelings going, right? Next thing you know, you're in the game. You're going out there and just playing.
2-1. Swing and a miss there by Abreu.
But you can really see with Abreu, you know, why he controls the zone. The hands are already in a loading hitting position. There's not a lot of movement. The head is still. I mean, he still gets it going now. He'll still load up because he's got some thump in those hands. But it's such a soft, simple approach at the plate. He sees the ball a long way.
The 2-2, missing outside. And back in 2022, we talk about the true outcomes, right? The walk, the strikeout, the home run. He was the king of that. 46% of his plate appearances were walks or strikeouts. 3-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. So Heasley comes back to get him for the second out of the inning. First strikeout for Heasley, and 2 down now in the 3rd.
Just gets under this breaking ball. You mentioned he gets, you know, sees a lot of pitches. He gets deep in counts. That's a hanging breaking ball that maybe in about 2 or 3 weeks he ends up hammering. But when you get to 2 strikes a lot, because you see a lot of pitches, the strikeouts will be there.
As Bobby Dahlbeck got a single off Burns in the 1st inning. Takes ball 1 there. Interesting talking to Dahlbeck and listening to what he had to say before this season. Says he's really listening to the coaches, feels like the feedback is very good. Said last year was tough, felt in the dark for a lot of the season last year, but he feels now he's got a better place for where he stands. Thought it was interesting when he said, I don't feel like I'm going to the body shop every time I work in the cage, more like a pit stop. I'm not trying to reinvent myself every time I get in there.
I'm sure he, like a lot of people, may be surprised he's still around here. Right? You think the last couple of years, maybe get an opportunity to go somewhere and play every day if it's not going to be here, but he's got an opportunity to fill a spot here on the bench. First, third base, a little bit of outfield. Asked Core if he's going to put him at short. He said, no, not this year. I was like, okay, just checking.
1-2 the pitch. Dahlbeck just gets out of the way of the inside fastball. Dahlbeck hit a home run last year. We take another look at that.
You always want to get the first one out of the way, but I don't agree with that. I'd rather go the whole year without getting drilled in the elbow. Thank you very much.
Slices this one opposite field, and that's a base hit. It'll drop in. Bobby Dahlbeck will pull up at first as Nathan Hickey scores, and the Red Sox take a 2-1 lead.
There's a few truths, you know, in life, and one of them is that Bobby Dahlbeck is going to hit in spring training. Right? Comes out every year and swinging it. Swing looks good, nice short stroke, takes that heater down and away, drives it to right field, 2-out knock. RBI, beautiful.
And that'll end the day for Heasley, or at least the inning. You got to be careful, right? Pitchers can come back in for another inning. I don't think that'll happen here. 3 hits in the inning. The home run from Mark Contreras, and now an RBI single for Bobby Dahlbeck. Red Sox take a 2-1 lead. Pitching change here in Sarasota. We'll come back after this.
Hey, hockey fans! Nesson and Yingling Brewery want to send you on an iconic.
Red Sox Spring Training Baseball on Nesson is brought to you by Fubo, live TV and sports without cable. Try it free at FuboTV.com. By Bigelow Tea, the official hot tea of the Boston Red Sox. And by BuyAToyota.com. For offers not seen on TV, visit BuyAToyota.com. Runner going, first pitch here, and he'll be thrown out. So Bobby Dahlbeck trying to grab an extra base. He's thrown out to end the inning, but his RBI single gives the Red Sox 2-1 lead as we head to the bottom of the 3rd here in Sarasota.
Toyota trains certified technicians. Is that important? Well, you wouldn't hire just any.
We're back here in Sarasota. Very happy to be joined now by Red Sox pitcher Garrett Whitlock, who just threw his first Grapefruit League start to kick off Grapefruit League play. 2 innings from you. What's your off-the-hill evaluation as you walk off for your work today?
Yeah, got ahead almost everybody besides Rushman, and then just fell behind to him, and then tried to just throw a change-up strike rather than throwing it aggressive, and he did what he does. So just kind of keep attacking.
Same old Orioles, right? Seemed like they got a little bit of information on you and kind of attacked you the same way they do during the season.
Yeah, I mean they were swinging. They know that I try and pump a lot of strikes, and so I was happy that they were coming out and swinging and everything. So it's good.
Lou Merloni on the telecast was talking about your changeup and how that being one of the featured pitches that you have and having that separation with your fastball. Anything specific you wanted to come out here and work on here in this first one?
Just kind of compete. The breaking ball was good. The fastball was good. And then, besides that one changeup, the changeup was also good. So, I was kind of happy with the work coming in. Just keep going.
Yeah, all of your Red Sox tenure had been under the direction of Dave Bush. Now you have Andrew Bailey in here as the pitching coach. What has that working relationship been like so far?
Yeah, I mean, first off, Bushy was great, and then now that we got Bales, he's good. He brings a lot of energy, and he's big on really focusing on perfecting what you're the best at, and so it's just kind of that is all right, what makes me good, what makes me get hitters out, and just kind of focusing on that.
All right, forgive me for being so shallow and talking about your physical appearance, but I mean, man, you put some work in during the off season. You obviously got bigger into the weight room. Like, how much is the added muscle going to, help you go through a 162-game season?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just I had a healthy off season. I was able to get in the weight room, able to do everything I wanted to do, and I think that's just the biggest thing is I feel in a great spot going forward to just try and be a dog for 162.
That was my next question. I mean, having a full healthy offseason, Alex likes to mention last season, especially coming off a major surgery with the hip, obviously. But being healthy, how much does that help your mental and your physical aspect as you get ready?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. I don't feel like I'm out there guarding anything, and I'm able to just go out there and just compete. And so, when you feel like that, it's a lot better than, when you're worried about something nagging you.
I know you've made the statement that you want to be a Swiss Army knife, and you're just happy to have the big league jersey, obviously, whether what role it is, if you're starting or if you're relieving. But isn't it much more fun to just take the ball as a starter and keep going?
I mean, yeah, it's fun starting for sure. But I mean, again, same thing. I take pride in that. I can do both, and so it's one of those things where it's I want to be able to have AC in any situation, be like, hey, let's give Whit the ball, and he's happy and wants to give me that ball.
All right, Garrett, certainly appreciate the time. Thanks for taking some time with us for this first one, man. You had a busy offseason, and look forward to many more conversations as the year goes on.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Jemai.
All right, TC, back up to you.
All right, Jemai, thanks very much. One down here, the strikeout from McKenna. Now Mullins will pop up to Reyes, who is there to make the catch. Two quick outs here for Cooper Criswell. Guy we're going to keep an eye on as he tries to earn a spot in the bullpen this season.
Yeah, you talk a lot about John Schreiber being moved. Now, the velocity may not be there for Criswell, but it is that power sinker at 88. That sweeper's a really good pitch. Guys aren't hitting it well. Developed a cutter, has a changeup. He's kind of been a multi-inning guy. He was in Tampa last year, and all 10 of his appearances were 2 innings or more. Went 4 innings a couple of times. So that multi-inning guy out of that bullpen we've seen so much of in the game.
According to StatCast, he is in the 90th percentile for extension. He releases the ball nearly 7 feet from the mound, from the rubber. Watch how far out he gets it. This one hammered to right field, but it'll be fouled.
Yeah, and you start dealing with kind of perceived velocity, right? He lets go of it so late, you kind of see it late. But all the metrics really in all his pitches, and that's kind of where they're at. They're looking at stuff. They're looking at swing and miss.
Low 3/4 arm slot, but that extension really makes him a separator.
You can see it here already. You see that power sinker he's getting guys on, that slider to go with it. Ran a cutter in on Mullins earlier as well, crowded him with it.
Likes to catch it and throw it and keep things moving as well, which makes him a favorite of broadcasters. Fly ball to right field. Abreu gets under it. It's quick 1-2-3 inning for Criswell. We head to the 4th. Red Sox leading 2-1 here in Sarasota.
Thursday, play Nesson's Predict the Game and win a signed Brad Marchand jersey. It's free to play and free to win. Sign up now at NESN.com/predictthegame.
You'll notice in this 16 league, every single one is stacked. It's Minnesota.
The impossible has become a reality. A historic day for the Professional Women's Hockey League.
Oh my Lord.
She really fought hard and
Score!
And she'll score. Point streak continues.
Another. Took on the door. Stellar goal.
Just absolutely fired
And
up.
boy, was she fun to watch.
The Bruins Pacific Division roadie continues. Tonight, it's a showdown with the league-leading Canucks. Then Monday, stay up for the Kraken. Coverage begins tonight at 6, only on NESN. This iconic matchup is presented by Yingling Traditional Lager.
Hi, I'm Leah Clark. And I'm Amanda Susi. Coming up this weekend on Nesson's Dirty Water TV, we are coming to you from the Big Apple, New York City. We'll take you to some of the most storied bars in America, including the oldest continuous running bar, McSwordley's Old Ale House.
There's a lot of stories, but we can sing repeat.
And we'll visit O'Hara's Pub right in the shadows of the 9/11 Memorial. That's all coming up this weekend on Nesson's Dirty Water TV. Tune in Saturday and Sunday nights at 11:30 because the party never ends on Dirty Water TV.
Red Sox Foundation 50-50 raffle. You can buy tickets at redsox.com/5050 through the 5th inning of today's game for a chance to win half of the net jackpot. You can see official rules for full details.
Back here in the 4th inning at Ed Smith Stadium in Sarasota. Already have our 5th pitcher of the game for the Orioles as we come into the 4th inning. Garrett Stallings going to be stepping in now, the righty. Split last year between AA Bowie and AAA Norfolk. A 5.16 ERA last season, but led all Orioles minor leaguers with 127 in the 3rd innings pitched.
He came over from Anaheim for old friend Jose Iglesias in a trade. Split time between pretty much AA and AAA last year. Controls his thing. Good changeup slider. Fastball's going to sit in the low 90s. See a little movement there as well with it.
It's a 5th-round pick of Los Angeles out of the University of Tennessee. Facing Pablo Reyes. Reyes grounded out to 3rd base to end the 1st inning. Fouls this one off on the right side. Sarasota was the first stop on the Lou Merloni Professional Tour. Is that
was
right?
it. First full season, 94. Wish I could turn back the clock. That was a nice youngin' hanging out in the Florida State League. I would say that was probably the most fun I ever had in baseball for one season. I mean, you're 20. I was what, 22, 23.
I mean, I won't look up Baseball Reference. How'd you hit?
I hit good, like 280.
See, well, that's usually goes along with it.
It's a tough league to hit.
If you were 212, you wouldn't be telling me that was the best season you had.
Oh man, that was fun. That was fun.
Here's Reyes driving one to center field, and that'll fall in for a base hit. So Pablo Reyes opening up the 4th inning with a single to center field.
Yeah, nice job. Reyes does a good job. You saw it last year. Going to get some time at first base here throughout camp as well. We know we can kind of handle second base, third, shortstop, maybe even 3rd if he needs it, but he's going to get some work at first. Good short swing, makes contact, doesn't strike out much. He had a good year for them last year.
Tyler Heineman now stepping up, switch hitting catcher. Acquired from the Mets after they designated him for assignment. The Mets, had claimed him off waivers from Toronto last year. 19 games up with the Blue Jays, hit .276. He's played for 4 different major league teams. Career .752 OPS in AAA, more than 1,300 plate appearances, and he drives this one to right field. McKenna gets under it, and he'll make the catch for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, back then, I think it was the home of the Cincinnati Reds in spring training. And then we sort of took over. Sarasota Red Sox had a team in the Florida State League. My manager was the great DeMarlo Hale, who should still to this day be a manager in the big leagues.
No doubt.
My hitting coach was Rico Petrocelli, my paisan. Hey, that man is fantastic. I love him. I had so much fun with that man that summer. And Al Nipper was our pitching coach.
Oh, my.
Talk about fun.
That's a great group.
I think Nip that summer set the Florida State League record for getting thrown out of games. It was like
the pitching coach?
A couple times a week. Nips, to say it nice, he's crazy.
Yeah,
right?
he is. I am aware.
And I love him. We had so much fun that summer. It's a good group. It was like the dream team staff. First year in pro ball.
Now, is that the year you were drafted, or is this a year out of Providence?
Yeah. So 93, I was drafted, kind of played a few games that first year, but
this is the first full year.
First full season. Yeah, 94.
Camp at Winter Haven?
No, it was the first year, I believe, at Fort Myers.
What year was this?
So 93 might have been spring of
92. 92, they broke ground. 93 was the first year at City of Palms.
Yeah. Of course, I got to enjoy beautiful Winter Haven with the Indians. Didn't change much from what I heard.
Wouldn't want to miss that experience. One hotel, one field, next door, fouled off.
Yeah. And one restaurant.
Well, can Boyd still have movies from a Blockbuster? He's still old.
He might.
I don't know. Blockbuster's probably gone, so he probably.
The good thing about Winter Haven is that you can just focus on baseball.
That is true. No distractions.
Nothing else.
No distractions.
At least back in the day. I'm sure it's beautiful now.
We welcome all our viewers in Winter Haven watching this afternoon on the NESN 360 app. One and two count. As the Red Sox have a 2-1 lead, looking to add to it here in the fourth inning. Driven to right field. Working back to make the catch is McKenna. Retreating to first is Pablo Reyes. 2 down here in the fourth. Today's game presented by Fubo. Stream New England sports and more on NESN with Fubo. Try it free at FuboTV.com. Tom Karen, Lou Merloni, Jemai Webster with you at Ed Smith Stadium in Sarasota. First official Grapefruit League game. It's always weird saying official Grapefruit League game because Grapefruit League games aren't official. But yesterday was not even that. Red Sox remaining unbeaten all time against the college competition. As Nick York put it yesterday, my first college game.
College debut.
College debut against Northeastern. Great to see the Huskies. And a ground ball here from Jamie Westbrook. Hoovered up by Arias. And after the leadoff single to Reyes, Stallings retires Heineman, Gonzalez, and Westbrook. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Orioles trailing the Red Sox 2-1.
Right now at Bernie and Phil's, save up to $1,500 and get 0% financing. We offer
a pretty good third.
Anthony Santander leading off. Takes ball one to start the at-bat. You know, one thing we're just starting here, obviously, but watching yesterday, watching today, the pace of play seems much more baked in than last year. Last year, we're talking so much about the adjustment and guys trying to figure it out. We're not noticing it anymore.
No, MLB achieved what they wanted. You know, like I said last year, the goal is for 2 or 3 years to not even notice that there is an actual pitch clock going on out there. And you really haven't noticed. There was one hitter violation. I don't think he was aware earlier. But you see that right there as far as the time of games. Like 2:37, you know, in April it creeped up a minute here, but by the end of the year it was up to 2:44, which still isn't bad. I think players started to get a little more comfortable and patient with it. They also started circumventing it a little bit, right? How many? Oh, hey, my pitch comm doesn't work. How many of those did we see to try to stall a little bit longer as well?
Yeah, the technology seemed almost flawless for 4 months.
Yeah.
And then there didn't seem to be one that would work for an entire 9 innings.
Well, I felt like early in camp and even into the season early, pitchers kind of felt rushed. They didn't realize how long, maybe 15 or 20 seconds, and they're delivering the ball with, 10 seconds left on the clock, and they slow down a little bit. Then they started getting comfortable with it.
O'Hearn with a one-out base hit here in the fourth inning after Santander grounded to first. And Dahlbeck made the play. So in an effort to keep that number from creeping up this year, Major League Baseball tightening things up a little bit. The biggest change, obviously, is now with the runner on base, the timer comes down a little bit, right? It was 15 and 20 last year. You're going to be at 18 this year with a man on base.
Yeah, 18 seconds. And there's some other things, too, that, when do we start the 15-second timer for the pitcher? In the past, it was like when the pitcher's on the mound, we start the 15. So what the pitchers would do is they would walk halfway to the plate, grab the ball in the grass, take their time before they got to the mound to try to buy themselves another few seconds. They've changed that. A ball out of play and a foul ball, once that ball gets back to the pitcher, they're going to start that 15 seconds. So you're going to see guys stay on the dirt. See it there.
Restarting the clock after the dead ball when he is ready to resume, not necessarily on the mound. And that's a fair ball. Austin Hayes getting one just out of the reach of Westbrook. And that'll be a one-out double as O'Hearn pulls up at third base. And the Orioles have something going here in the fourth.
I'm dead right on the line. Westbrook wasn't able to get in. But that second one there, the batter faced requirement. How many times have you seen, you know, a pitcher go out, warm up, get ready for the inning? Maybe a team announces a pinch hitter, or maybe you give that time to the guy in the bullpen longer to get ready. And before the hitter even comes to the plate, they make it switch once the pitch hitter is announced. You can't do that anymore. If you warm up between innings, you have to face that first hitter.
Here's Ramon Arias. Men on second and third, one out. He reached safely on an error to Westbrook back in the second inning. Cooper Criswell gets the swing and a miss there.
That's that sweeper. It's a good one.
Did you ask if you can call it a sweeper?
Yeah, you know, he definitely wants
good.
it to be called a
All right,
sweeper.
there you go.
Guys hit 211 when he's up in Tampa. That was a really good pitch for him.
There's a drive to left field. Working back is Contreras. He'll come in, make the throw to the cutoff. The sacrifice fly will tie the game as Arias brings home O'Hearn, and we're all tied up at 2 apiece.
Sure, Criswell was going for that strikeout. Just kind of left it up a little bit more. Arias, veteran hitter, does enough to get the run in.
So 2 down now. This man still on second base, and Jackson Holliday will get his second at bat.
You know, another one of the things they're going to focus on is, because they're trying to really want the running game to pick up, is infielders blocking the bag on stolen bases, dropping a knee in front of the base, guys going head first. You drop that knee, that can be real dangerous. Jamming a hand, break a finger. They're going to be real conscious of that.
And again, that's not a change in the rule. That rule exists. It's just going to be a tightening up of the enforcement.
Yeah, it's like an infielder. I mean, interference, rather. It's like the first baseman on a pickoff. You can't block the bag on a pickoff. You got to give him the opportunity to get the bag. We had that back in the day. And there were some infielders that kind of would block it with their leg, and we kind of remind everybody before the game that you don't go in feet, diving head first. You go in feet first. And sometimes you leave the spikes just up enough on that shin in the hopes that he doesn't do it again.
Holliday drives one to center field. Say down Rafaela under it, calls for it, and makes the catch. But a couple of hits and a sacrifice fly from Ramon Arias. We're all tied up at 2, heading to the 5th here at Ed Smith Stadium.
Battle the Detroit Tigers. Special theme tickets include a reversible bucket hat. For more information, visit redsox.com/springthemes.
Now, Jemai Webster has been known to rock the bucket hat during spring training. I don't think we're there yet, are we? Has Jemai got it going today?
It's a smart move. You don't want to get too sunburnt, right?
Today.
So you get the bucket hat.
Not today, Jemai?
Not today, fellas. Not today, but I will be bringing it out on Sunday.
There you go. Well, it's February sun. You don't want to rush these things. Ground ball off the pitcher, handled by Holliday and flipped to O'Hearn. Contreras is retired.
By the way, I had a nice dinner last night with Jemai. Did you go?
No, I did not get to go. Did you guys have a nice dinner? Jemai, was that a good dinner last night?
Beautiful dinner.
Everybody invited?
Yeah, it was. Everybody was invited this time. So I will make that clear, and, you're invited to the next one. You know that.
Well, I want to make it clear that it was our photographers, Steve Tagarellis and Sean Blaney, who invited me, not Jemai. So I'm still 0 for 2 in Jemai invites for this spring.
That's weird because he sent me like a personal
to
text
something
on the
that's not
side
mine?
asking if I wanted to go.
That's a bold-faced lie, Lou. Come on, let's not do that.
What are you doing tonight, Jemai? You got anything going on tonight? You going to be getting together with anybody tonight?
Yeah, we're gonna watch a game tonight, so you're invited to that.
Is that right?
Hope you.
Am I?
Hopefully you can make it. I'm inviting you right here.
Yeah,
I'm inviting you right here, right now.
Yeah, I can't make it. Thank you.
See?
It's my wife's birthday. Happy birthday, Kelly,
popular.
by the way. And I know where you guys are going to watch the game, and there's no chance I'm bringing her there on her birthday night. This one driven to the left center field gap. And that'll be a base hit with one down here in the fourth inning as Nathan Hickey is aboard with his second hit of the game.
Hickey again showing that potential at the bat. Staying on a nice little breaking ball the other way. Pretty little line drive.
Second inning of work for Garrett Stallings, and it'll be say down to Rafaela. Once again, the man on, big swing there. Rafaela 0 for 2. Nice at bat last time around, was robbed of a base hit by Arias. 0-1 the count to Rafaela. He'll take this one, but it'll hit the outside corner. It's 0-2. You talked about it before, Lou, the quality of the at-bat. You might be sitting on an 0 for 2 right now, but they love that last at-bat for Rafaela.
Yeah, they're not looking at the end numbers with him. They're looking at within an at-bat, swing decisions.
Another ground ball to third. Another nice play for Arias. And he tried to turn too quickly, but he gets the force at second base. Good awareness by Arias, one of the best infielders you'll see on the defensive side of the game.
Yeah, another great play by Arias. But, you know, this is where the game is a little bit different. You know, it's all about end results. I always say baseball's a game of numbers. You are what your numbers tell you. In spring training, it's a little bit different. You know, a lot of veterans, they don't have a good camp. You know they're on the team. But a guy like Rafael, you don't look at the 0 for 3. They're probably looking and say, last 2 at-bats, swinging at strikes, good contact, didn't expand the zone. And they just believe, like, if he can develop that tool, given everything else he has, you know, it's going to come. It's going to be there. The bat-to-ball skill is fantastic. He just chases, gets outside the zone, and unfortunately makes a lot of contact and gets himself out with some weak contact.
Here's Abreu, drives this one, just got under it. Right field is where McKenna awaits, and he makes the catch. So the Red Sox get a base hit from Nathan Hickey, but we head to the bottom of the fifth, still tied at 2. Earlier last week, Red Sox surprised some people with the move trading John Schreiber to the Kansas City Royals to get a little deeper in the starting rotation prospect end. Here's why. Isaiah Campbell, Greg Weissert, Justin Slayton. These are 3 guys they think could step into the void that Schreiber leaves behind. We're about to see one of them in Campbell.
Yeah, we'll see Slayton a little bit later on here in this game here, but Campbell, you know, really impressive rookie year with Seattle out of that bullpen. You see some of those numbers. You know, they acquired him for Luis Arias. But one of the things they really love about him is not only about the 95-mile-an-hour fastball, he's got a slider, sweeper. The way he gets lefties out. Struck out 45.8% of them. So he's able to get guys out of the bullpen. It's very important now with a 3-hitter minimum. You got to face 3 hitters no matter what. Held him to a 163 batting average. So this is a guy that's really intriguing that I expect is going to have a really big role in this bullpen for the Red Sox.
And we'll take a look at him for the first time this spring. Isaiah Campbell, born in Portugal, which is a bit rare, but actually went to high school in Kansas. Father there when he was born, drafted by the Seattle Mariners in the 2nd round, 2019, out of the University of Arkansas. Last year made his major league debut, posted a 2.83, as we said. Jumped up from Double-A to the majors in his debut. Perfect 8th inning against the Houston Astros. And here he'll be met by a base hit from Jorge Mateo. Sneaks one up the middle. Leadoff single for Mateo here in the 5th. Pablo Reyes is down standing by with Jemai Webster.
All right, thank you very much, TC. That's right. Pablo Reyes happy to join us today. After yesterday, you said you didn't want your TV time, so you get it today. You happy about that?
Oh, yeah. TV time today now. Let's do it.
There we go. How'd you spend your winter this offseason, Pablo?
It was good. It was good. I made sure what the team told me to do during the offseason. Did it and done. I mean, I keep learning stuff and all that kind of thing that I'm going to push me to the next level, so. And, yeah, it was good.
Started your Grapefruit League play facing your former Milwaukee Brewers teammate Corbin Burns. You able to get a single today? How do you assess kind of being able to run around here finally and get to playing baseball again?
I mean, I love to be back with my teammate and, yeah, face my old teammate like 2 years ago, born. So, and, yeah, getting base hit. So I'm always thinking in spring training, you have to have a good at-bat. I don't think about the result if I'm going to hit a base hit, double, stuff like that. I just trying to have good at-bat to make myself ready for the season. So if I had a good at-bat, I can see the ball good, so I know the thing is going to be, so I'm going to make good contact and have good at-bat.
You talked about how great it is to be back. You're obviously traded here during the season last year. How nice is it to come into this season having an expectation of where you are and where you're going to be?
I mean, happy, happy. So enjoying last year, so the opportunity they gave it to me, and came here back and trying to keep working hard. So trying to never stop, just keep learning and have my teammate and just trying to enjoy every day. So something that I put in my mind is trying to having fun. So now that I'm here again, I just thinking to get out of bed and keep working. The staff give me the opportunity, still here, it make me happy now that I'm here. So keep working everywhere, get third base, shortstop, second base, outfield, so everywhere, because I know that's gonna be my role. So if they need me, whenever they need me, I'll be ready for them.
I was getting ready to say you really impacted the roster last year with your versatility, being able to play all over. Alex said you're going to play some first base tomorrow. How much experience do you have over there?
Not a lot, but yeah, I did play before, and I played last year in Boston. So I played like 2 innings, I think, if I remember. Yeah. So I'm starting tomorrow first baseman, and it's gonna be the same for me. I'm gonna enjoy, having fun, and we see. I mean, I can play in first baseman too. So when I was kid, I play everywhere around the field. So I don't gonna be nervous. I'm going to have fun and do what I do every day. Just play hard.
Obviously, playing some shortstop here, one of the best athletes on the field. So how comfortable do you think you'll feel over there in the corner?
I think I'll be, I'm going to feel comfortable, because it's like, I'm working every day. I've got some ground ball in third base and first base, so it's not my base, but I'm going to do my best, so I'm going to push myself to me, like, it's saying almost the same like a third base. I play a lot of third basemen, and different things, so I think it's going to be the same. So I'm going to put pressure on myself. So I just going to play and have fun.
Obviously, you got a real opportunity to be a part of this 26-man roster again. What are some goals that you have set for yourself as the season approaches?
For myself, my goal is going to be the same. It's not going to change. I'm always thinking to have good at bat and helping my team to win. So that's the only thing. The only thing it came to my mind. Helping my team win, have good at bat, play good defense, anywhere they need me, and be there for my teammates. So everybody want to have good season. I want to have a great season. You know, I have family to take care of this stuff, but like for myself, like I'm thinking always. I think to have good at bat, helping my team to win. Whenever Alex Cora need me, be ready for that, and that's my goal.
All right, Pablo, just keeping it simple. Thanks so much for taking the time to be with us and finally getting a little bit of your TV time today.
Yeah, TV time, guys, TV time.
All right, TC, we'll send it back upstairs to you.
Jemai, I feel that's going to be a new segment on Nesson this year. TV time with Pablo Reyes. This one's driven to center field. Michael Perez, his first at-bat of the day back is McDonough for the Red Sox making the catch. We have wholesale changes for the Red Sox and plenty more coming in for the Orioles as well. Rozier, McDonough, and Contreras now the outfield. As Contreras moved over to right. As Abreu came out, Mydroth, Hamilton, Sogard, and Cavadas are the infield. Colesberry behind the plate, and we told you Isaiah Campbell on the mound. 2 on, 2 down here in the 5th inning. And this at the plate would be Heston Kjerstad replacing Santander. Kjerstad coming in for his first at-bat of the game. Swing and a miss there, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, it's another one of those monster prospects for the Orioles. Number 3 in the system last year. Split time between Double A and Triple-A. Combined to hit 303. 21 bombs. They like this kid, too. Another one in the outfield mix.
Campbell just missing outside.
He got up last year a little bit at 13 games. Got a little taste of it. Hit a couple home runs. 233 average.
515 OPS in his little taste, but as you said, a flash of the power.
And Campbell here right now, just the controls off. You know, kind of after he walked McKenna, really fell behind Perez. Got him to swing 3-0, but you could just see the location. You see the breaking stuff. You see the action on the curveball. Slider that he has as well.
He's been really good against lefties over his major league time. 163 batting average against, and you saw it work right there as he gets Kjerstad to end the inning. So a hit and a walk, but no damage. We head to the 6th, tied at 2. Tonight, don't miss the action as the Bruins head to Vancouver to take on the Canucks. Trying to bounce back from that overtime loss against the Flames. Catch pregame coverage starting at 6. They drop the puck at 7. You can watch it on Nesson or stream it on the Nesson 360 app. We just have the Bruins finish a game in regulation.
Well, they were really good in the shootouts.
Well,
You're good in overtime, aren't they? I get lost. I don't cover all sports anymore.
Yeah, you don't. You know?
I asked you the other day, so what do they need at the deadline?
What do they need at the deadline?
My old job, I might have known.
Spend 20 hours a week talking about that a couple of Marches ago.
No, we'd still be talking about whether Mac's a fit on the Patriots
yes,
or
you
not.
would. Yes, you would. All right, 6th inning here at Sarasota. All tied up at 2. A lot of changes for the Red Sox. Cavadas in for Dahlbach. Takes an inside pitch there. And he'll take ball 4.
Stallings still getting some work coming back out here for the 6th. Getting stretched out.
David Hamilton came in for Pablo TV Time Reyes. And he will step up. First pitch swinging grounder. And he'll be tagged as Cavadas gets to second. One down here in the 6th.
I think we got to mic up Pablo Reyes more kind of throughout the year.
He was great last year.
He's like came over last year. Obviously, kind of once he got settled in, you started to see the personality. He's a pretty funny kid around that clubhouse with everybody. I mean, the guy loves Jemai.
Well, they all love Jemai.
I mean,
we talked about this yesterday.
Yeah.
They all love Jemai. They don't know how exclusive he is with his dinner plans. When they learn more about that, they may not love him as much. But right now, he is a very popular guy in that clubhouse. As we'll get Colesbury up for his first at-bat of the game. The catcher out of Eustis, Florida, and the University of Florida, originally a draft pick of the Cincinnati Reds last year in the minors with Baltimore and Minnesota.
Yeah, you see that bat. It's not about the bat with him. He's a plus defender, above average arm, excellent game caller. He throws guys out, and then when you start talking about Breslow and Bailey and the pitching infrastructure and building it throughout a system, the focus really, you saw a lot of, AA, AAA catchers, defensive first catchers, signed. You need somebody to lead that staff.
Colesbury grounder to short, handled there for the second out of the inning. No advance for Cavadas. 2 down here in the 6th with Nick Sogard stepping up to the plate.
I really like this kid. Maybe that's just the utility love in me. I see a utility player in Sogard. I watch him play shortstop. Great actions at short, can play all over, switch hitter. Maybe a little smoother swing from the left side, but he can play sure-handed defender.
Acquired with Ronaldo Hernandez for Chris Mazza and Jeffrey Spring in that deal with Tampa Bay back in 2021. All of last season with the Woo Sox. Second straight Major League Spring Training camp.
Whenever I hear somebody describe a player as kind of like a sum of all parts type of guy, right? Maybe no great tool, but kind of does everything good and okay. And I'm like, yeah, I should like that guy. It's kind of like who I was.
Well,
I wasn't exactly great at anything, but maybe even good at anything.
But working and grinding and using your baseball IQ to get the most out of everything.
And that's what this kid is.
Takes the ball there from a very athletic and accomplished family. His cousin, of course, the Major League veteran Eric Sogard. His sister, Alana, is a country music artist. And did you know his father played football at Tufts? Grounder here to second base. And that'll end the inning. So another inning of work for Stallings. And we head to the bottom of the 6th, tied at 2.
struggles like the walk. He's got the hip in surgery and stuff.
He's getting old, isn't he?
He is. So I want to get him as tight as I possibly can.
Is he baggage?
Well,
I'm baggage. I'm ballast.
Yeah, he's my baggage.
Ballast.
Awesome.
Hey, Mike. Right next to that white car right there.
I love it.
Okay. Players are all inside there, but you're on the outside.
Awesome. Thank
Let's
you.
go with the players.
Not sure using my advanced age to get a better parking space is a great look.
TC, you got to do what you. I told you I would take care of you. I told you I would get us close.
He has
you
trouble
pull in.
walking.
So listen, I had to come up with something. The hip surgery, you don't walk for. I got to get you tight to the ballpark. I don't want to. These ballparks here, you can walk a mile, before you get to the park. So I was looking out for you.
Felt like Joe Castiglione as we pulled up to the ballpark today. I like the player parking, though. Lou Merlone still can make the moves.
Hey.
If we could roll that again, what went underappreciated in that video is the little BMW sign on the on your steering wheel there.
Trying to keep that quiet.
Good luck expensing that one with a base hit to center field to begin the inning. For the Orioles, Justin Slayton on the mound for the Red Sox. Getting our first look at one of the pitchers we talked about, a guy who will be pushing. They love his stuff. 6'4", 222 out of Longview, Texas. A third-round pick of the Rangers back in 2019. Technically, the Red Sox did not get him in the Rule 5 draft because he wasn't going to be around when the Red Sox picked. So they got the Mets to pick him, and then they made a trade with the Mets to get him into the fold.
Yeah, AA, AAA kind of split time. Well, most of it was in AA, but it was really impressive year. So again, Rule 5 draft, he's got to stay in the Boston bullpen all year long. Will be returned to the Mets. Maybe they can work something out there as well. But he's at that AA, AAA, so it's not out of the question that he's ready to kind of impact the big league bullpen.
Gets a pop up here after Nevin got aboard with the single, and that'll be the first out of the inning as Johnson flies out here to begin the sixth, or with one out and one man on in the sixth.
Yeah, he's another guy that they really like. Fastball up in the zone, good swing and miss. It's at 95, 98 power. You got a little cutter, slider, sweeper shape. It gets a lot of swing and miss. Got a little curveball as well.
That'll bring up Kobe Mayo, the 22-year-old infielder. Fourth-round pick of the Orioles in 2020. That strange 2020 draft, right, when they only had 5 rounds.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of the wild, wild west to try to lock up all the free agents.
Another guy, too. He's 4th best prospect in the Orioles system. Loaded system. Split time between AA and AAA at 307 and AA. Then got moved up 267, but combined for 29 home runs and 99 RBIs last year in the minors.
Yeah, a year before that in 22, 19 home runs ranked him third most in the minor league system for the Orioles. So you talk about that loaded O system. They have done such a good job drafting, developing, and keeping prospects moving in the right direction. Oh, takes the hit there as Slayton drills Mayo. With one out here in the sixth, 2 aboard.
All their big prospects, too, are here in camp, non-roster invites. Back in Boston, you talk an awful lot about the kids down at AA, Meyer, Teal, Anthony. But all those guys last year just got a taste of AA. So next year's the year you're going to see him here. And we'll see where the year goes for all 3 of those guys. For the Orioles, all these top 5 prospects are all AAA. AAA big league ready. So they're like a year advanced from the big 3 everybody talks so much about down in Portland.
That'll bring up Diego Castillo, the former New York Yankee. Trying to earn his way into a spot. Spent last season with Arizona, got 17 games in with the D-backs, hit 270 with a 784 OPS. Guy who hasn't had a lot of chances at the major league level, but when has been in the lineup, he has hit. 371 he hit in 14 games with Pittsburgh back in 2022. Castillo fouls this one back.
That's that lead fastball up. You see that little run, too, inside on righties. It's about as uncomfortable as that swing looked.
So Slayton, huge swing and miss stuff, said Craig Breslow when we talked to him about Slayton early on. .37.4% strikeout rate in the minors in 2023. Yeah, you've seen Rule 5 guys, obviously Garrett Whitlock, one of them, today's starter, that a team won't put on the 40-man roster, hoping to slide him through. It's not because they don't think he's got a future. They just don't have the spot available on the 40-man. Driven to right field by Castillo. Contreras there to make the catch. No advance, and there's 2 down here in the 6th.
Yeah, Slayton, another multiple inning guy. 2 innings 19 times last year. All right, suit up this season at MLBshop.com. You can check out the largest selection of official jerseys, caps, T-shirts, collectibles, and more. Gear up with your Red Sox at MLBshop.com.
2 down, 2 on here in the 6th. Errol Robinson at the plate, 29-year-old. 38 major league games to his career. Got 1 game up with Baltimore last season. I beg your pardon, 3 games with St. Louis last season.
That's a good slider right there, down and away. Tough on righties, Chris Wally. Right-handers hit 168 off him last year. There's some really good stuff. It's the reason why you're getting Rule 5 picked and an opportunity to make a big league team.
Fouls this one back. Red Sox at home tomorrow. Their first Grapefruit League game of the year at JetBlue Park. Minnesota Twins on hand coming across town. We'll have coverage for you beginning at 1 o'clock. It's actually a split squad tomorrow. They will also have a game going on at Atlanta. Northport, technically. Center field, drifting back to the warning track to make the catches. McDonough, and Slayton gets out of the jam. We head to the 7th inning here in Sarasota. Orioles and Red Sox tied at 2. On Nesson is brought to you by Fubo. Live TV and sports without cable. Try it free at FuboTV.com. And by Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. We're always here to get you there. Tom Karen, Lou Merlone, Jemai Webster with you in Sarasota as the Red Sox and Orioles are tied up at 2 coming into the 7th inning. And we have our 6th pitcher of the game on the mound for the Orioles. It'll be Nick Vespi. As he will step in to face Chase Mydroth. Nick Vespi, the 6'3", 235-pound lefty. 18th round selection of the Baltimore Orioles back in 2015 out of Palm Beach State.
Yeah, he spent most of his time last year down in Norfolk AAA, but he did get 9 games in this Baltimore bullpen. 1-0 with a 4.3 ERA.
Grounder to short. And we get the first out of the inning as we go down to Jemai, who is with the pitching coach, Andrew Bailey.
All right, thank you very much, TC. Well, Andrew, first one for Garrett Whitlock. What'd you see from him in his first Grapefruit League start?
Yeah, Garrett was great. Filled up the zone. Changeup was just under the zone a little bit. Obviously, the one that Adley got up there, but the slider was really impressive. He was working hard on that pitch. Sinker profile was great. Filled up the zone. Got his work in.
You pitched here, now coaching here. What have the months since you were hired been like for you?
Early on, chaos, to be honest. But we're streamlined now. We have a great support staff around us. Educating players on maybe some new philosophies, understanding what they do really well to leverage their strengths, at all times. And the first couple months of the offseason, just busy trying to connect with people in and around the organization and getting to know the players.
Yeah. Well, when you think about taking the job and when you finally accept it, what did you dive into this pitching staff about and some things that you wanted to make sure you were able to implement?
Yeah, I think helping our players understand themselves and their identity at the major league level and what separates them from the pack as individuals, and each player is unique. So how they move, how they train, how they throw, the arsenal that they have, and how we attack the zone. So leveraging our strengths at all costs and understanding their identity as a player, and then obviously getting to know them personally as well.
And you guys have done that as a collective, too. I saw a great story by the Athletics' Jen McCaffrey about the RPU, the Run Prevention Unit, that you guys have a group text going on with all the pitching group. How important is that communication? Oh, actually, you know what? We got a third out. We're gonna finish this conversation after the break, Andrew. We'll be right back from Sarasota in just a bit.
Back here in Sarasota, all tied up in a seventh inning, and the fifth pitcher of the game on for the Red Sox. It'll be Jorge Benitez, the righty. Signed lefty, beg your pardon. Is that Benitez? Yeah, Jorge Benitez, the left-handed pitcher. Ninth-round pick of the Seattle Mariners. He had the big scoop in the offseason. He broke the news of his signing on Instagram when he told the world he was coming to the Red Sox. And now he gets his first Grapefruit League appearance of the season.
Yeah, Benitez actually has pitched in Calgary for the last 5 years on winter ball in Puerto Rico, which is where Alex Cora is from, so he knows him very, very well. Fastball, changeup, very tough against lefties. Had a good year last year, kind of split time in A-ball, high A, double A. That low 2 ERA, very tough to deceptive, kind of three-quarter arm slot. You see it uncomfortable at bat against lefties.
And it's a lefty, Colton Cowser, to lead off the inning. 2-2 the score here in the bottom of the seventh. Ed Smith Stadium in Sarasota is where we come to you today. Missing inside, Benitez from high A to double A last year in the Mariners system. 45 appearances, 64 and 2/3 innings, a 1.95 ERA. But the Mariners have one of the deepest pitching staffs in the game.
Yeah, you know, this is a kid, like, again, like, just saw double A a little bit, but you know, a lot of guys here competing for that left-handed spot of the bullpen. He may not be there yet, but again, opportunity to kind of put a name with a face, go down the minor leagues, throw the ball real well, continue the process, and you never know as the season goes on.
And he will hit Cowser to begin the seventh inning. Alex Cora talking about that with us yesterday, right? Different buckets of players at a spring training. You got guys getting ready for the major league season, guys fighting to make the 26-man roster for the regular season, and guys who are just trying to get you to remember them so that when you need someone down the road, you go, I saw that guy and I like what I saw.
Yeah, and you know, you got veteran guys like Jansen and Martin. He basically, Corey the other day said they need about 5 innings. You know, they need about 5 appearances, whatever it takes to get ready for Seattle. Veterans like that know what it is. There's some battles in some spots, whether it's center field, backup catcher, last spot or two on the roster, and of course the bullpen. But then there's other kids that know they're going to start the year in AA or AAA that are trying to impress a big league staff that if they're needed during the year, kind of remember them, right? That positive feeling that they left Fort Myers with in the coaching staff's eyes.
Do you remember the spring training when you jumped from the guy just trying to make an impression for the long term to a guy who might be in the mix for the coming season?
Yeah, it was actually my first spring training. First and only big league camp. You know, I was coming from AAA, but my job was exactly that. You know, it was to kind of come here and put a name with a face and maybe hopefully during the year, maybe get called up. The problem was after about the first week or so, Jeff Fry blew out his knee, and after surgery, he was out for the year. All of a sudden, I was kind of thrown into a mix.
So that speeds up your timeline.
Yeah, it did. I mean, they still, you know, I still started the year in AAA, but I had a really good camp. And once again, things weren't working out at second, you know, in the infield spot in the month of May. And because I had a good camp, because I put it in the eyes of Jimmy Williams, you know, the manager at the time, had a good month of April down in Pawtucket. I got that call up, and they were comfortable with it.
Enrique Bradfield Jr. at the plate now. He'll take the strikeout. 1 down here in the 7th inning. Tomorrow, spring training continues. As we said, the Red Sox hosting the Twins. Don't miss coverage starting at 1 o'clock right here on NESN. It's all presented by Fubo. One down, 1 on here in the 7th inning. As Benitez takes him out of the Red Sox, 5th pitcher today. Garrett Whitlock got the start. 2 innings of work, gave up the solo homer to Adley Rutschman. Won't be the only pitcher to say that this year. This one gets away from the catcher, and that'll allow Cowser to advance. Down in the dirt was the pitch.
You know, these are the kind of at-bats that matter for Benitez. You know, last hitter facing that lefty, good breaking ball to freeze him. He's going to have an opportunity to face a couple more lefties here with this Oriole lineup. Kind of show how he attacks left-handed hitters. But again, it's not the regulars, but still it's about execution and location.
Michael Perez takes the pitch. It's 3-0 now. Man on second. 1 down, bottom of the 7th. Grapefruit League opener for both teams. Benitez gets the called strike.
See that good action too on that fastball, little sinker. You can get some lefties to swing over that one. Hopefully get some righties to roll over. Use that action to your advantage.
Ground ball, second base. Sogart up with it. 2 down. Cowser advances to third.
Join us Monday, February 26th, to see the Red Sox take on the Phillies at JetBlue Park. Special themed tickets to the game include a Hawaiian shirt. You can get yours now at redsox.com/springthemes. A little Hawaiian shirt.
You a Hawaiian shirt guy?
Not really, but I'd take one and walk one around down here in Florida. Nice weather.
That just don't strike me as it. You do not strike me as a Hawaiian shirt
What
guy.
is it about me that does not strike you as a Hawaiian shirt guy?
It's just a Framingham Lou, the guy who's grinding every at-bat, does not strike me as a guy who's going to be laying back with the Hawaiian shirt.
I would agree. I would agree with you. My buddies back home would be like, what are you doing? Hawaiian shirt?
Where did that come from? Then you'd explain it was free, and then they'd say, okay, that fits the profile a little more. Eston Kjerstad at the plate now. Man on third, 2 down. Swing and a miss there. Good slider, and that'll end the inning. Benitez, after hitting the leadoff batter, gets the next 3. We head to the 8th, tied at 2. Access NESN 360 with your TV service. Watch NESN originals like Red Sox My Story for free. Download the NESN 360 app and log in with your TV provider if you already have NESN. Andrew Bailey, interrupted by the game that was going on in his duties, is now back with Jemai Webster.
All right, yeah, thank you very much. Thanks so much, Andrew, for coming back with us when the Red Sox defense and pitching staff is not in the field. But we were talking about that run prevention unit, that communication that you guys all have, how important that was.
Yeah, it's really important. You know, the RPU, or the run prevention unit, you know, encompasses some of our analytic group, obviously tech and the catching group, you know, bullpen coach, major league assistant pitching coach, myself, just making sure that we're unified, obviously, when we're speaking to players on goals and what we're trying to achieve in game. And it takes a village, right? And making sure all parties are aligned, and when we're speaking to players, we're sharing the same voice.
And that kind of came together pretty organically as well. Like, you guys spent a lot of time this offseason together.
Yeah, a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of Slack channels and texts, obviously, and again, just being aligned and understanding, you know, who the player is, you know.
Was in there, Nick and Brian, and then you got basically 4 guys for 2 spots. What are some things that you're going to be looking for for some of those other guys as you guys continue to, as a group, fill out the rotation?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, we're gaining information every single time out, working with the players on their priority goals. And again, you know, guys that are able to get us deep into games by, you know, gaining count leverage and utilizing their pitches in zone, we want to be on the attack. So lot of information to still collect and a lot of things to sort through, but our guys are really in a good position right now.
All right, Andrew, I won't let the inning upcut us this time, so certainly appreciate you coming back with us, and look forward to a great year together as the Red Sox, you know, get ready for 2024.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, you got it. All right, TC, send it back upstairs to you and Lou.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, that was a big get for them. I know they're really excited. Obviously, that opening, the pitching coach, you give Andrew Bailey. He's done a nice job out in San Fran. Kind of elevated some kind of fringy arms, right, into like really impact guys in that bullpen, in that rotation. Brought guys to another level, which are things that the Red Sox here is trying to do. Not just, you know, in the minor leagues, infrastructure, building that and getting the guys up here in the big leagues, producing more arms, but also with this big league staff, like that 1 year improvement.
Trey Magoo on the mound for the Orioles now. He is the 7th pitcher of the game. A leadoff double for McDonough. Advanced to third by Rozier, Corey Rozier. Grounder to first. And now a 2-2 count to Nico Cavadas. Opportunity to give the Red Sox the lead. He fouls this one back. Right in front of us. You made no effort at all.
Well, it went over us and somehow snuck through this little canopy above us.
Just worried it would hit your luxury SUV, but that's parked way out there in left field, thanks to negotiating skills.
That's what happens when you don't have a reservation. You make your own.
To the count outside. Count will go full. They tried to get the Impala. It just didn't work out that way.
They didn't have the 4-door Porsche.
Yeah.
You know, felt a little guilty. The Lambo rolling around Florida. Kid would have loved that.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He gets Cavadas. 2 down here in the 8th.
And Magoo obviously pretty tough against lefties. You see that breaking ball. Games. That one there, I felt like we had to do more work on the Red Sox roster before the game than we did Northeastern.
You know, Mike Lavin had a good point, though. He goes, sometimes in these games you get the star major leaguer, and they're just sort of hacking and signing autographs and moving along. He goes, these AA guys are going to come out here and try to win this game.
Yeah.
And sure enough, Red Sox got the victory, remaining undefeated in their games against college teams over the years.
Mike Lavin and Northeastern at JetBlue today, taking on Minnesota. Wish them the best. Couple games against those guys before they head north.
As we said yesterday, very excited that they get to be the home team at JetBlue Park. There's Hamilton with a base hit up the middle. That'll score McDonough. And the Red Sox regain the lead here in Sarasota. 2-out RBI single for Hamilton here in the 8th.
And those are big at-bats, especially for a guy like Hamilton. You know, facing that lefty, coming out of the pen, he tries to sneak a little fastball by him, but he gets on top of it, and that's that line drive stroke that you'd love to see with him. He's got, you know, the wheels. We know what he's done. Stole 70 bags a couple of years ago, and still a lot last year as well in AAA. So that line drive swing, ball in play, get you on first base and watch him run.
And a follow-up base hit here for Colesbury. Hamilton advances to second, so back-to-back 2-out singles in the 8th. Nick Sogard now going to try to keep this 2-out rally going. By the way, checking in middle of the 8th. Looks like maybe it just went final. Northeastern leading Minnesota 8-7. There might be 2 outs in the top of the 9th now as we get caught up. Be a good win for Northeastern. Get back to 500 after dropping 2 out of 3 against Arizona last weekend.
Yeah, dropped out of the top 25. They were 23rd in the country coming into the year. Dropped 2 out of 3 to Arizona. Try to take good care of business against Minnesota. Get up north, take care of business, and get back in that top 25.
And it has just gone final. Northeastern beating the Golden Gophers 8-7 the final there. So congrats to Mike Glavin and the Huskies. They'll play again across town tomorrow as the Red Sox move back into JetBlue.
Some more of the regulars in there tomorrow, the home game.
1-1 the count. Nick Sogard fly ball to center field. Bradfield is there and he'll make the catch. But the Red Sox take the lead. An RBI single from David Hamilton with 2 outs in the 8th. We head to the bottom half. It's 3-2 Boston. By Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. We're always here to get you there. It'll be the 6th pitcher of the game for the Red Sox, Justin Hagenman, taking the mound with a lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Hagenman, one of the 2 pitchers acquired last season in the deal with the Dodgers that sent Kike Hernandez back.
He's an interesting arm. With the Dodgers at the time, he's in AAA. He's 4-0 with a 2.78 ERA. He was throwing the ball real well for them. Went out to Worcester, continued that. 3.26 ERA in just 16 games. But 92, 94, swing and miss slider. He's got a change as well that he'll use.
Trying to protect a 1-run lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning at Sarasota. It's a swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
You see that fastball there kind of running up and in, uncomfortable. For a big guy, it's almost a little bit of a low release point, kind of running up on righties.
Tyler Nevin holds up, and it's 2-2. Son of Phil Nevin, Tyler Nevin, last season. Swing and a miss here to get the strikeout. Last season came over from the Detroit organization back to the Baltimore organization, and Hageman gets his first out of the inning.
Has that slider we were talking about that's got swing and miss in it. It's in the low 80s. And he kind of just shows strike out of his hand, which is important for a right-handed hitter. You got to think it's that fastball in the zone, just disappears down and away.
So one down for Hagenman. Facing Daniel Johnson. Ground ball, second base, played there by Sogard. Nicely turned for the second out of the inning.
Nice play by Sogard going to his right. Charging this ball and creating like nice little short hop, making that play a little bit easier. And getting up in the air, and there's that pick by Kavadas at first base. Actually, that ball came up to him nicely, but some athleticism. Nice pick at first to make it a clean play.
Kobe Mayo now with 2 down in the 8th inning here. 22-year-old out of Coral Springs, Florida, takes ball outside.
That's a big year. Look at that. 29 bombs, 99 RBIs in the minors between AA and AAA. They just keep coming with these guys.
Yeah, he was a high selection in the draft. Hit .307 with Bowie in AA. Had the 17 home runs, then got moved up and didn't miss a beat. .905 OPS in AAA. Takes a called strike.
It's like a little cutter there from Hagenman. Kind of can cut it a little and sink it. Keep you off balance. A little funky delivery.
Under this one, pops up high, left field side, getting over there, falling in safely as Hamilton tried to get back around on it to make the catch. But Mayo pulls up at second base with 2 outs here in the 8th.
Yeah, this is where, Hamilton, his speed, it gets him to the spot. But this is a real tough play for the shortstop to get to. You'd like to see the third baseman, the left fielder rather, kind of take control on this ball if he can, kind of seize it a little bit longer. See the ball drop in fair territory, but speed of Hamilton got to the ball. Maybe that's when you got a left fielder out there, Rozier, that sort of relying on that speed to handle that, but it's a lot easier for your left fielder.
So down by run, 2 down in the 8th, and the Orioles trying to get something going. Diego Castillo will foul one back. Baltimore Orioles, last year under Brandon Hyde, the 101 wins, their best season, first 100-win season since 1980. That's what, just 2 years removed from 100-loss season. And the thing I love about the Orioles last year, it was the same manager.
Yeah.
Right? They let him go through the dark times, gave him the chance, and he made the most of it in the good times.
Manager of the year, and I'm with you 100%. A lot of times when a team's ready to rebuild and win, all of a sudden they change that manager. But they stuck with him. I kind of think of Kotsay out in Oakland. All these tough years he's going through, and it's, all right, if we're going to rebuild this thing and be good again, are you going to let me have that team? Or are you going to just let me sit here and lose 100 games every year? Well, Brandon Hyde's done an outstanding job with the Orioles. 101 wins.
Castillo takes it outside. It has been an interesting offseason for Diego Castillo. He has changed hands on waivers 4 times since he was DFA'd by Arizona just before Christmas. Briefly with the Mets, then the Yankees, then the Phillies. Phillies DFAing him a week ago when they cleared room for Caleb Ort. And the O's grabbed him, then passed him through waivers, and now he's in camp, and he'll strike out there to end the inning. So Mayo with a double, but it's for naught. We go to the 9th. Red Sox leading 3-2. Time now for our strong play of the game presented by your New England Chevy dealers. Together, let's drive. Red Sox get the lead at the top of the 8th. David Hamilton with an RBI single after a leadoff double from McDonough. That's how we get to the 9th inning with the Red Sox looking to pick up a win in the Grapefruit League debut.
Then the only thing they care about is
Top of the 9th here at Ed Smith Stadium. Chase Mydroth leading off the inning for the Sox.
You know, debate's always how important are wins in spring training. And in the big picture, obviously, it doesn't mean that much.
Beats losing.
But, you know, you got a team that just wants to win games. I mean, the goal is to play clean baseball. To go out there, throw the ball well, throw strikes, play good defense, and win or lose, you know, feel good about that part of the game. But it is nice to shake hands afterwards and put some W's on the board. Win games late.
So the numbers on Morgan McSweeney. He's out there for the eighth pitcher to face the Red Sox in this 9-inning game.
Sounds like spring training the first couple days.
Chase Mydroth in there, gets out of the way of the inside pitch. It's 3-1. Mydroth, the defensive player of the year for the Portland Sea Dogs last year. 133 minor league games, got an 828 OPS.
He can swing it.
And he takes a ball here, ball 4, leadoff walk for Mydroth.
He can swing it. You know, probably best suited for second base, but when you play Double-A and you got Nick York and Marcelo Meyer, a lot of your time is going to be at third base, which is where he'll spend most of it, but kind of can play all around the infield.
Philip Sykes. At the play for the Red Sox. Sykes, the 24-year-old outfielder out of Texas Christian University. I prefer to call it TCU.
I'm with you.
111 games with the Sea Dogs last season. That on the heels of a 2022 campaign that saw him post a 905 OPS in Salem, moved up to high A Greenville. Grounder to third base, backing up to make the play, Mayo. They'll get the force at second as he gets Mydroth one down here in the 9th.
We talk about Brandon Hyde and this ball club. They're not going anywhere either.
Tomorrow on Charlie Moore Outdoors, Charlie goes fishing with hockey legend Bobby Carpenter. Don't miss Charlie Moore Outdoors tomorrow afternoon at 12:30, only on Nesson.
Obviously, we saw Corbin Burns, the big addition. He put that ace on top of the staff and kind of needed it with the word right afterwards that Kyle Bradish, you know, their outstanding guy last year, UCL sprain, he got a PRP injection. You know where that goes, right? They're going to try to rehab it, try to stay through it, but unfortunately, the end game at times can be Tommy John. Be a huge loss for that team. He was fantastic for them last year. Was their #1. 12-7, 2.83 ERA. Then you got news that John Means, the lefty, who missed all of last year's with Tommy John, is about a month behind schedule. So they're a little bit thin in the area. I think because of that, a lot of people try to knock them and kind of put the Yankees as the favorites in the East. I still think it's Baltimore.
Especially if those guys can get back on the earlier end of the timeline. But like you said, we'll see after that PRP injection. And hold your breath.
And the kid, Grayson Rodriguez, was an animal last year. You know, he's just a beast on the mound. I expect him to just get better and get more comfortable, which he was down the stretch for this Orioles team. So they're going to be tough.
It's Nick York, 1 out, 1 on. Fouls it off with the runner going. Red Sox leading 3-2 here, top of the 9th in Sarasota. McSweeney looks in. Popped up right field side of first base under it. Nevin can't quite get there and make the play.
We saw York yesterday in that Northeastern game. Kind of really came on last year too. Like had a nice rebound year, right? 2022 kind of struggled a little bit, but Came back. He gets another swing at this one as Nevin kind of misjudges this fly ball down that right field line. But defensive best, voted the best defensive second baseman in the Eastern League. Defense is there. It's improving. But it's really about the bat that's going to carry him.
Takes the outside pitch. Was in the SiriusXM All-Star Futures game last July. Played the entire game at second base. Went 1 for 3.
And these second basemen are getting bigger. Between him and Vaughn Grissom, they're like monsters over there playing second.
Ground ball, shortstop. Robinson gets it started in a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. We head to the bottom of the 9th. The Red Sox lead the Orioles 3-2 here in the Grapefruit League opener. All right, welcome back to Sarasota. Bottom of the 9th, Red Sox holding on to a 3-2 lead, out hitting the Orioles 9-6. Garrett Whitlock started this one and really just got behind in trouble on one batter.
Because when he hit it, really, he fell behind. 3-0, 3-1 fastball. And this one here was a changeup that he just left up. You see Rafaela not happy with the timing of that jump. Kind of jumped into the wall instead of up and over with, but still. I think Garrett Whitlock fell behind one hitter. Other than that, he was pretty sharp in this one. Blowing that fastball by. I think you see that good slider, which I thought he had a really good one here today, but he's pounding the strike zone. Got good work in it for 2 innings. And a good first step here from Garrett Whitlock.
And a base hit here by Errol Robinson to start the bottom of the 9th. As the Orioles trying to pull this one out. Nate Tellier on the mound with the Red Sox here in the 9th. Trying to close this one out. Nate Tellier, local kid. Born in Boston, went to UMass Dartmouth out of Attleboro.
He comes into this game. This one gets away.
Down in the dirt. You get an opportunity to pick up a save for the Boston Red Sox. I don't care if it's Grapefruit League or anything else.
Yeah, there's ever a moment in spring training game when you feel even an ounce of pressure, right? It's like on the road in the 9th inning, the crowd's been silent all day long. All of a sudden, the 9th inning, they get all excited, and you're out there in the mound. You just pitched at Greenville. You look and see Alex Cora, Andrew Bailey, and you're on the mound to save this thing, close it out.
He was a two-way player at UMass Dartmouth, an all Little East selection. It's a fly ball to left field. Rozier back, and it is gone. A walk-off two-run home run for Rozier. And the Orioles will win the Grapefruit League opener 4-3.
Well, that happened in a hurry, huh? A little breeze out to left center. Hit a deep fly ball. This thing just kept carrying out of the ballpark. The Orioles take this thing with a walk-off.
Off the bat, that did not look like it was going to end the game.
No, it did look like a fly ball to left. You're wondering if he's going to be able to tag from second to third. It just kept carrying out of that ballpark over that 372 line with that flag blowing straight out to left center. And that's how this one ends.
So the Red Sox lose the Grapefruit League opener in walk-off fashion. 4-3 the final on the two-run home run for Colton Cowser.
Yeah, I think overall, like we talk about, it's about wins and losses. You walk off the mound, you don't want to be the guy to give it up. But for the most part, the staff, I think, is driving back to Fort Myers, looking at Garrett Whitlock on the mound. You saw some good things from Criswell. Saw some swing and miss from Campbell as well, and saw some good at-bats. So I think overall, you look at it and say spring training, get your work in, try to play a clean game, move on to the Twins tomorrow down to JetBlue.
Campbell, Slayton, Hageman, all important guys who got their work in today and looked good. And as you said, 2 from Whitlock. Other than the solo home run, he looked good as well. So we are back at it tomorrow, coming to you from JetBlue Park in Fort Myers, where the Red Sox will take on the Minnesota Twins. For Lou Maloney.